Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at an interesting team with Chesnaught, and I stole this team from Twitter, from Driftblimmen, but also what I saw is that Jamie Finn apparently made this team, I think, so shoutouts to you, one of the spiciest channels on YouTube. So let's see on how this team actually works. And honestly, I had some fun with this team. I think this team is an hilarious approach to the current meta, as you're going to have access to your 2-star Pokemon here, one that no one ever really uses with Chesnaught, and one that's quite common actually with Typhlosion. And we're going to have the Drapion in between that kinda tries to glue everything together. This team is not without weakness, that is for sure. There are Pokemon like, for example, the Shadow Dragonite, which would completely destroy the entire team here. And yeah, but there are also some kind of benefits for this team. Honestly, the Chesnaught was a Pokemon that I was a little bit worried about using, because I wasn't really too sure on where this kind of stands in the current meta. Can this perform? Can it not perform? In the meta of Shadow Scissor, it's a bit tricky to play a Pokemon like the Chesnaught, which is just a grass type. But honestly, it was a cool Pokemon to run. Here I encountered a lot of times the same team that was kind of annoying for me to deal with. I think I encountered the Scissor Azumarill core 5 times in 3 sets. I don't know, like honestly, I don't know why this was so common against me. It's a bit tough for me to deal with this team here specifically, because they always kind of play it out quite smart. They kind of get rid of my Drapion, like can I get low already with a Scissor, then swap out the Kitch to move onto the Azumarill, and then take advantage of it. Here we are not really looking too great. We have to take the Night Slash, we have to swap out of here, we have to hopefully get the KO, which we do. And now we have Thunder Punch coming in against the opponent's Azumarill, but let's see what they're going to have in the back here. It's going to be, yeah, Azumarill coming in again. We're going to not see the final Pokemon yet, which means they're most likely going to be weak against me in the back. And so I might be able to just go for the full farm down here, actually. I can just shield this move up, farm them down. They should be able to reach another charge move in time, and so we are going to be in an alright spot, and they decide to forfeit here. So whatever they had, they were definitely weak to us in the back. And as said before, like Shadow Scissor was by far the most common lead they have encountered today, like by far, like was nearly everywhere. But there are also different ways of playing that out. For example, here, you can stay in. Yeah, of course, you're going to encounter the one Shadow Scissor with X Scissor instead of whatever other move. That is ridiculous. But to be fair, I feel like X makes actually a lot of sense. There are like a lot of Pokemon that can kind of hardwire the charge moveset of this Pokemon, but not too much like Exa, so I actually think it's a cool move to have. I'm not even that mad about that. But as you're gonna see here, you're going to have Ferret in the back. We're going to be alright here with our Drapion. We're gonna be able to lose the CMP tie, which I didn't know I would lose the CMP tie against a Ferret. I was there assuming here that I would win that CMP tie, because I thought that Drapion is way squishier and yeah, way stronger in this kind of sense. But this is going to make it all a little bit more awkward. If we would have won that CMP tie, I would have been totally alright here against the Moltres. And I would have been able to play out the matchup a little bit easier there. Like this, I'm going to get farmed down. That's unfortunate. I honestly had no idea that I would lose that. And I'm actually going to want to check real quick on how close that it was here. Ferret has an attack stat of 115 in the current Go Battle League meta, while Drapion has one from 117.8. So it must have been a Ferret that was insanely attack invested, which is kind of hilarious. Like, because mine is 0. Okay, I have not the perfect IVs in here for this yeah, checkup here basically. Mine has actually a 116.5 attack version of it, and the Ferret has to have at least like, I think, 8 attack or something from the opponent, 9 attack, yeah, 9 attack minimum in order to actually win the CMP tie against us there. So that's kind of hilarious. It was literally the IVs of the Ferret being not optimal for the opponent to win the last battle. That's something I have not really seen like this. So I was just like so confused about us losing the CMP tie there, but we should have not been losing the CMP tie in most common circumstances, just that the opponent had a very high attack Ferret there. But anyway, we're going to see here now the opponent with their Golisopod. I make it a very silly play in this battle, which you're going to see here right now as well. With the crunch coming through, we're going to see that they're going to survive 1 HP. I should have just stayed in. I should have just stayed in there. I gave the opponent needed an opportunity to get to another charge move, and that would have actually guaranteed won them the battle. But like this, we're going to be able to just win and move on to the next opponent. where we will see the Diggersby, a Pokemon that we can definitely deal with our Chesnaught, which is going to be lovely. We have the charge move coming through here. It's going to be the Frenzy Plant coming in. Getting a shield, we can take for sure one charge move here as well. A Fire Punch is going to do super effective damage, but I know that I'm going to be able to win this guaranteed in the 2 shield scenario. You really don't have to do a lot here in order to win this in 2 shields. You just have to go for a Frenzy Plant and you're going to be fine. Like literally just Frenzy Plant. I overfarm here of course a lot because I know that I will just one-shot them from no matter which range. And as they decide to use a shield here, I assume that they're most likely going to decide to swap out here very soon. But I can still go for a Frenzy or a Superpower against whatever they want to swap in. They swap in the Sableye, which is not ideal for them at all. As we will see here right now, the Frenzy Plant coming through, it is going to get them low. We can now go ahead and go into our, Drapion, take the hit here. I can overfarm, I should maybe overfarm a little bit of energy here first, which I do, in order to go for an Awkward Tail against the opponent's, Diggersby still. That would be alright, and as you're gonna see here, the opponent is gonna swap out into the Diggersby. So we can go for the Awkward Tail. I think that might be enough to even knock them out here. We have to see on how this is gonna go. But as we will see, it is going to be enough. They're going to have a Dedenne in the back, and now we still have a Frenzy Plant still stored here. We are going to have our Typhlosion still as well. We can even swap out into the Typhlosion, just have the fast move pressure, and we guarantee win this battle. There's nothing the opponent can really do here in order to win it themselves. And so we are in a very, very good spot here as we're going to have another charge move coming in. This is totally fine. We're going to be able to get the KO. We can move on to the next opponent, where we will encounter the worst possible lead, definitely, by far. It's a Flying type Pokemon with a lot of Flying type damage against a Pokemon that's double weak to this type. So yeah, that is not really ideal at all. But as you can see here, we're going to have the Awkward Tail coming through. This is not going to work out though, because they're going to go for the charge move first. And we can go for the full farm down here. This is, I think, my ideal play, because I'm going to get a ton of energy with my Chesnaught. Chesnaught resists everything from the Marowak. And we can get out of here with a superpower stored, which is going to be fantastic, as we will see here. The superpower is coming in against the opponent's Pidgeot. I actually waited a turn so it doesn't do as much damage, but we can now swap out of here, and I hope that this is going to work out for us. We're going to have here the Air Cutter coming through. They're going to get the boost, but they luckily decided to swap out of here into the Clodsire. My only hope here is now, though, to win this battle like this. I have to go ahead and I have to get the full farm down done here. If I don't get the full farm down done, this game is over. I need to get the full farm down done here. Sludge Bomb is coming through. Can we get it done? We miss it out by 1 turn then. 1 turn, we need extra here in order to get the KO against the opponent. If they had Stone Edge, we would have won this battle, but they don't have. They have Sludge Bomb, and with that, we don't have a chance here, sadly, and that's going to be a good game. Next up, we're going to have here Annihilate against us. This is going to be a lead that I don't really like to play out, because they're going to be able to win this in 2 shields, as far as I know, guaranteed. I could have just went for 1 Frenzy Plant and just called it, but yeah, I kind of want to sub out straight away to apply more pressure. They sub out into the Bastion in here, and that's honestly the best kind of matchup that I can have for the Pokemon that I currently have here. So, as we will see, we are going to be able to go ahead and go for another Awkward Tail against the opponent. That is going to be alright, as we have now the swap here. I hope I can swap. I can just barely not swap out into the Chesnaught. It's okay though, we can take a hit. This should be kind of alright here for us as well. And as we will see, we're going to have the Chesnaught up now against the Bastion. We can overfarm, we can get the superpower off. That is going to one-shot them. I think even from full health it would one-shot them. We can swap out of here, clear the debuff. We got the opponent to farm down range now, which is exactly where I wanted them to be. And as we will see next, we are going to be able to just go for the Thunder Punch against the opponent. And we can move on here, as this is going to get a lot of damage. And I think as long as they don't go for the Icy Wind bait, we should be fine. Even if they go for the Icy Wind bait, we should be kind of alright here as well. They go for Dry Run, we can get a ton of energy here. We have now 2 Thunder Punches stored. They still have 2 shields, but they only have 1 HP on the Annihilate, and with that, we win the battle. I don't know why they didn't use shields, by the way. I really don't understand why they didn't just decide to use some shields there. That would have been, in my opinion, the smartest idea, but yeah, what can I really do here, right? Like, there's not really anything that I can do. But yeah, as you'll see here, we're going to have now a superpower coming through against the opponent. We have the Drapion coming in, and we can go to our own Drapion now as well, which is going to be alright for us, as we will see here the Awkward Tail coming in. We are gonna be forced to go for another Awkward Tail here against the opponent, And this is going to allow us to get some damage onto them. And we have the Lapras coming in. Lapras is going to be alright. We can go for some crunches here. Maybe with a debuff we could even two-shot the opponent. But the opponent decides to use a shield here anyway. And so we can go for another... it's going to be a zoom roll. I have to kind of go for a crunch because what we see here as well is that if I don't go for the crunch, the opponent is going to be able to knock me out before I can stop out. So it's either keeping a move while going for a charge move and at least then being able to swap out, or just sacrificing the Drapion. So yeah, at this point we're going to be in the alright spot. We're going to be able to go ahead and go for that charge move. Frenzy Plant is coming through, and we can now see here that we can use another shield. We should be in an alright spot. This Ice Beam is coming through. We're going to see the Superpower coming in against the Lapras. That is going to be alright as well, doing a ton of damage on the CMP tie. It's not enough to knock them out. I think Frenzy Plant maybe does a tiny bit more damage, but I'm not too sure even about that. And we see here that we're going to be able to get a little bit of damage in, knock them out, and move on to the next opponent. Where are we going to have a Pokemon awaiting us that, I don't really like. Like, Dusclops is a very strong Pokemon. It's alright for this team. Like, we have the Ice-type weakness here, of course, on lead, but we're going to have the Drapion still in the bag. And what I was thinking is I might be able to just catch a move on the Drapion. And so I'm going to go for 3 moves, swap out, and catch the Shadow Punch here, which is going to be perfectly fine. This is going to allow us to get some damage in. And in comes Lapras, which is really good for us, honestly. We survived the hit here. This is not really too scary for us at all. This is going to allow us to get even the defense drop onto them. And what I could do is I could shield up and just try to force a shield again, which I do. That's alright. What I could have done as well is just try to go for the full Founder with the Incinerate. But yeah, I think that's still the correct play here, I guess. As we will see the shield coming up. They're still going to go for another charge move here. I can let the move go this time around, and I think I can just farm down hopefully with the Incinerate. Please don't get another move. That would be great. I think we lagged a tiny turn there. I don't think the lag actually mattered there. I think we need 2 turns extra in order to knock them out before the Sparkling Area comes in. In comes that Typhlosion. My only hope here is I can catch a move, but I decided to go for the swap out straight away. They swap out into their Dusclops, and I didn't even get the move off. If I got the Frenzy Plant off, I had maybe a chance of winning, but even then, if they play it right, there was actually nothing I could have done there. So yeah, good game to the opponent. As we see here, they're gonna have a move start. They still have a shield left. That's like the big issue there. And so yeah, let's move on to the final battle. All in all, the team was fun to play. Is it my favorite? Not so much. Like, Chesnaught has some potential sometimes, but I feel like Chesnaught is kind of missing something. While you have even kind of a fast move to get to in the Superpower, you have the debuff with it. It's not something that you can go for consistently. So it is a bit of a tough one sometimes. But yeah, let's take a look here at the final battle. We have the Thunder Punch coming through. That is looking kind of alright for us. And as we will see, the opponent decides to use a shield. I can use a shield here as well. And I hope they can knock out the Annihilate. I should be able to get definitely to the Thunder Punch next. But they're going to go into the Marowak. That is okay for us. We have our answer here. But while we can resist all the hits, we are not having the most amount of bulk here. Which means the opponent is going to be able to get us quite low. And force me kind of to go for my charge move straight away. In order to knock out the opponent. In comes now whatever is going to come in. Because we're going to go straight to Drapion anyway. I think we can outspeed the opponent here. It is going to be the Annihilate. We can get to the Awkward Tail in time. That's going to be alright in my opinion. And as we see, this is going to be able to get some solid damage in. We have now the Bastion coming in. We can go ahead and go for the Awkward Tail. And we hopefully still going to be fine here. Awkward Tail is coming through. I'm actually hoping that of course can go for a Superpower later. But for that the opponent would need to go for a charge move here. I'm not too sure on how much health I actually have left on, like if I have enough, I don't know, do I have enough health left? I can catch the move here. It is going to be, funnily enough, this Flamethrower from the opponent, but they undercharge too much, which now allows me to go for the Superpower. And with that, we're going to be able to win that final battle. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, feel free to leave a like and I will see you then. Bye bye.